What if, starting today, no one and nothing could control your emotions ever again? Imagine living your whole life where no insult cuts deep, no rejection breaks you, and no betrayal steals your peace. Just think about it for a moment. How many times have you let someone's careless words ruin your entire day? How many nights have you lain awake, replaying a moment over and over, wishing you had reacted differently? Wishing you had been stronger? Wishing you hadn't let them get to you? We have all been there. Every single one of us has felt the weight of emotions dragging us down, making us feel weak, making us feel small, making us feel powerless in the eyes of others. But here is the raw, unfiltered truth, that weakness ends the moment you decide it does. This video is not about becoming cold or losing your humanity. It is not about turning into a robot without feelings. It is about becoming unshakable. It is about becoming the kind of person who walks through fire and does not even flinch. The kind of person others cannot manipulate, cannot provoke, and cannot control. Machiavelli, the great master of power, taught that true strength comes from mastering yourself first. When you control your emotions, no one can push your buttons. No one can make you dance to their tune. And no one can take away your inner strength. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you powerful lessons that will help you build an emotional fortress inside yourself. You will learn how to stop reacting, how to think with clarity instead of impulse, and how to carry yourself in a way that makes you impossible to control. But before we dive in, I need you to commit right now. Drop this in the comments: I am stronger than any emotion. Say it. Own it. Scream it in your mind if you have to. Because the moment you do, you have already taken your first step toward becoming untouchable. Let us begin with Lesson 1, Destroy Emotional Vulnerability. Let us be real for a moment. No sugarcoating. No soft language. The reason most people suffer in life is not because of money, or status, or opportunities, or bad luck. It is because they cannot control their emotions. They get offended too quickly. They get sad too easily. They get angry too fast. And every single time that happens, they hand over their power to someone else. Think about it. When someone insults you and you explode in anger, who is really in control? Not you. The other person just pulled your strings like a puppet, and you danced exactly how they wanted. When someone ignores you and you feel worthless for days, who is in control? Again, not you. They are living rent-free in your head, controlling your self-worth from a distance. When someone criticizes you and you spiral into self-doubt, who is in control? Definitely not you. You just handed them the keys to your confidence. This is what I call emotional vulnerability, the weakness of letting your feelings be owned by others. And here is the harsh truth: people will use it against you. They will test your patience. They will poke and prod to see what makes you tick. They will try to trigger you. And the moment you react, they win. Ancient philosophers understood this over 2,000 years ago. They taught that no one can hurt you without your consent. You suffer because you choose to suffer. Now, I know that sounds harsh. But sit with it for a second. If suffering requires your consent, then you can also choose to withdraw that consent. The insult only cuts if you let it. The rejection only breaks you if you let it. The betrayal only steals your peace if you let it. Modern psychologists call this emotional granularity, the ability to identify your emotions and separate yourself from them, instead of becoming them. When you are angry, you do not become anger. You feel anger. When you are sad, you do not become sadness. You feel sadness. There is a massive difference. And in that gap between feeling and reacting lies your entire freedom. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." And how can you command others if you cannot even command yourself? The first step to true freedom is mastering your reactions. That means training yourself to pause before you respond. When someone disrespects you, do not give them the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. When life throws a challenge at you, do not cry about how unfair it is. Stand firm. When things do not go your way, do not let frustration dictate your next move. This does not mean you kill your emotions. Emotions are part of being human. They are what make life rich and meaningful. But you must learn to rule them, not be ruled by them. Think of your emotions like fire. In control, fire can warm your home, cook your food, give you light. Out of control, fire can burn your entire life down to ashes. Start practicing small. The next time someone says something annoying, do not react immediately. Breathe. Hold your silence. Let them wonder what is going on in your head. That mystery gives you power. The calmer you remain, the stronger you appear. Because here is the secret, the world respects control. People trust leaders who can stay calm in chaos. People follow those who do not panic when things go wrong. And the person who cannot be shaken emotionally? That person becomes untouchable. So today, make a promise to yourself, never hand your emotions to anyone again. No one deserves that power except you. Say this with me right now, I am the master of my feelings, not their slave. Write it in the comments. Repeat it until it becomes your truth. Because the moment you destroy emotional vulnerability, you stop being controlled, and you start becoming unstoppable. Lesson 2, think like a strategist. Most people live their lives reacting. Someone offends them, they get angry. Someone praises them, they feel on top of the world. Someone ignores them, they feel small. Someone gives them attention, they feel alive. This constant emotional swing is what keeps people weak, predictable, and easy to manipulate. It is like being a leaf in the wind, tossed around by every breeze, every opinion, every comment. But here is the truth, if you want to win in life, you cannot live like a reactor. You must live like a strategist. A strategist does not move on feelings. A strategist moves on calculation. A strategist thinks 3 steps ahead while everyone else is stuck in the moment. And this is exactly how the greatest minds in history operated. History's greatest military leaders understood something fundamental. The best commander is not the one who fights every battle, but the one who chooses which battles to fight. They knew that sometimes the strongest move is to not move at all. Sometimes the wisest response is silence. Sometimes the best strategy is patience. Think about it in your own life. How many times have you made a bad decision because you acted while angry, jealous, or desperate? Maybe you sent that angry text at 2 in the morning and regretted it by sunrise. Maybe you quit a job too early because you felt discouraged, instead of thinking long-term. Maybe you trusted someone too fast because you felt lonely and they gave you attention. Maybe you spent money you did not have because you felt like you deserved a treat after a hard day. That is the cost of living by emotion. That is the price of letting feelings drive your choices. But when you think like a strategist, you stop asking, how do I feel right now, and start asking, what is the smart move here? What is the best long-term play? What serves my future self, not just my current mood? Let me give you an example. Imagine someone tries to insult you in front of other people. If you explode in anger, you look weak, childish, and easy to provoke. Everyone watching will silently judge you as someone who cannot handle pressure. But if you laugh it off and stay calm, you have already won. Why? Because you kept control, and now everyone sees you as the stronger person. They see someone who cannot be rattled. Someone who is confident enough to let small things slide. That is strategy over emotion. Another example, relationships. Many people let emotions blind them completely. They ignore red flags because the person makes them feel good in the moment. They overlook lies because they are afraid of being alone. They stay in toxic situations because leaving would hurt right now. But the strategist sees beyond words and feelings. They look at motives, patterns, and actions. They know that what people say is one thing, but what they do is the real truth. They understand that consistency reveals character and time exposes masks. To live like this, you must train your mind to step back. Every time you feel a strong emotion, pause. Ask yourself, if I react right now, who benefits? Who gains from my outburst? Who profits from my emotional response? If I stay calm and think, what is my advantage? How can I use this situation to come out ahead? That simple pause, that brief moment of reflection, is the difference between being played and playing the game. This does not make you heartless. It makes you powerful. Because while everyone else is drowning in their feelings, you are seeing the bigger picture. You are 3 steps ahead. Calm, sharp, and untouchable. So remember this, strategy will take you further than emotion ever could. Say this with me right now, I see the game clearly, and I play it smart. Type it in the comments. Own it. Because when you choose strategy over emotion, you stop being a pawn, and you start becoming the player who controls the board. Lesson 3, Build mental autonomy. Detach from external validation. One of the most common traps in life is needing other people's approval. Most people do not even realize how deeply they depend on it. They post something online, and their mood for the next few hours depends on likes and comments. They wear something new, and they wait for compliments to feel good about themselves. They make a decision, but deep down they are asking, what will people think of me? They change their opinions based on who they are talking to. They dim their light so others do not feel threatened. This is not freedom. This is slavery. Because if your self-worth depends on someone else's words, then you have already given them the keys to your mind. You have handed over the remote control to your happiness. Ancient wisdom teaches us clearly, people judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. What that means is simple, people usually judge by appearances, not by real substance. They see the surface, they do not see the depth. If you live your life based on their judgment, you will always be chasing shadows instead of building real strength. You will be like a dog chasing its own tail, running in circles, never catching anything, never satisfied. Think about it. People's opinions change all the time. Today they love you. Tomorrow they hate you. Today you are a hero. Tomorrow you are a villain. Today they praise you. Tomorrow they cancel you. If your sense of self rises and falls with those opinions, you will never be stable. You will always be controlled by forces outside yourself. You will be a boat without an anchor, tossed around by every wave. So what is the solution? Build mental autonomy. Autonomy means self-rule. It means your value does not come from outside. It comes from inside. It means you decide your worth, not the crowd, not the comments, not the critics. When you detach from external validation, you become solid, unshakable, and free. Here is how you start. First, notice when you crave approval. Pay attention to that little voice that wonders what others will think. Ask yourself, if no one clapped for me, if no one noticed, if no one praised me, would I still feel proud of this? Would I still do it? If the answer is no, then you are not living for yourself. You are living for an audience. You are performing instead of living. Second, start giving yourself the validation you usually expect from others. Instead of waiting for praise, tell yourself directly, I did well. I am proud of me. I showed up. I tried my best. That is enough. It may feel strange at first. It may feel awkward. But this is how you reprogram your mind to stop depending on others. This is how you build internal validation. Third, realize that the people whose approval you chase are often too busy worrying about their own lives to think about you. They have their own insecurities, their own fears, their own need for approval. They are not sitting around judging you as much as you think they are. So why give them so much power over your emotions? Why let strangers control your peace? A modern philosopher said, "The need for approval is the greatest enemy of mental freedom." The moment you stop needing everyone to like you is the moment you become truly free. When you no longer need external validation, you become dangerous in the best way. People cannot control you with praise or crush you with criticism. They cannot manipulate you with flattery or wound you with insults. You stand firm in who you are, independent and unshakable. Say this affirmation right now: my value is mine alone, independent and unshakable. Write it in the comments. Let it sink into your mind. Because once you master this truth, nothing outside of you can decide your worth again. Lesson 4. Eliminate personal weaknesses that give away power. Sometimes it is not the big mistakes that make us lose power. It is the small, everyday habits. Things we think are harmless. Like over-explaining, oversharing, showing too much emotion in the wrong place, seeking validation, seeking attention, seeking sympathy. But here is the truth: every time you do these things, you give away a piece of your power. You bleed energy. You leak authority. Think about it. When someone questions you and you rush to explain yourself again and again and again, what message do you send? You send the message that you are guilty, insecure, or desperate for their understanding. You signal that their opinion matters more than your own truth. A strong person does not need to over-explain. A strong person states their point once, calmly, and then stops talking. They trust themselves enough to know that silence after truth is powerful. Or consider oversharing. Many people think being open means being real, being authentic, being vulnerable. And sometimes it is. But in reality, when you reveal too much of your personal life, your fears, your secrets, your struggles, your past traumas, your current problems, you give others ammunition. Some people will use that information to control you, manipulate you, or simply lose respect for you. They will file it away and use it against you later, when you least expect it. History's greatest strategist captured this truth perfectly when he said, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver." What he meant is people love exploiting weaknesses, especially if you have been foolish enough to hand them the weapon. When you expose too much of yourself, you invite deception and betrayal. You make yourself an easy target. Let us be honest, most people do not deserve full access to your emotions, your thoughts, or your private life. Only a select few, the ones who have earned your deepest trust through time and consistency, should be allowed in. Everyone else should see only what you choose to show. Control the narrative. Protect your inner world like a fortress with high walls and a guarded gate. So how do you eliminate these weaknesses? First, practice speaking less. Not every silence needs to be filled with words. Not every question needs an answer. Not every comment needs a response. Let your words carry weight. By choosing them carefully and using them sparingly. When you speak infrequently, people listen more intently. Second, control your emotional leaks. You do not need to share your every frustration, sadness, anger, or disappointment. Learn to process your emotions privately, through journaling, through exercise, through meditation, through prayer. Instead of handing them out like free samples to anyone who asks, "How are you?" Third, set boundaries with yourself. Before you speak, before you share, before you react, ask yourself, does this strengthen me or does this expose me? Does this build my power or does this give it away? If it exposes you, hold it back. If it weakens you, keep it inside. When you master this, something powerful happens. People can no longer read you easily. They cannot predict your moves. They cannot manipulate your emotions. And they cannot use your words against you. You become mysterious, controlled, intentional, and untouchable. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments: I guard my power like a fortress. Make it your daily reminder. Because power is not only about what you show. It is also about what you protect. It is about what you hold back. It is about the mystery you maintain. Lesson 5. Use silence and calm as your weapons. Silence is not weakness. Calm is not a lack of power. In fact, silence and calm are two of the most effective weapons you will ever have in your arsenal. Most people do not realize this because they are addicted to reacting. They feel the need to respond to every insult, defend against every attack, fill every pause, and speak in every silence. They think that staying quiet means losing. But the truth is, the one who controls their silence controls the entire room. The one who stays calm in chaos becomes the center of gravity that everyone else orbits around. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you. Maybe they raised their voice, insulted you, or tried to drag you into an argument. If you responded with anger, you gave them exactly what they wanted: your energy, your attention, your emotion. They fed on your reaction. They won the moment you lost control. But if you stayed calm, looked at them without flinching, and stayed silent, something shifted. Suddenly, the power dynamic changed. They expected a fight. Instead, they got nothing. They expected you to engage. Instead, you disengaged. And that nothing makes them uncomfortable. That silence makes them question themselves. Discomfort makes them weak. Confusion makes them retreat. A great military strategist once said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." The lesson is clear: sometimes strength is not about roaring like a lion, but about waiting, observing, and striking at the right time, like a fox. Silence is strategy. Calmness is control. Silence does 3 things for you. 1. It protects you. You do not reveal your emotions or intentions too quickly. You keep your cards close to your chest. 2. It confuses others. People expect reaction. When you give none, they lose balance. They start second-guessing themselves. They wonder what you are thinking. And that uncertainty gives you power. 3. It creates respect. Those who stay calm under pressure look stronger than those who panic. Those who remain silent in chaos look more confident than those who scream. When you master silence, people start to think twice before testing you. They sense that you are not easily rattled. They feel that you have depth. When you master calm, you show the world that no situation can shake you. That you have been through worse. That you can handle anything. And in a world full of noise, drama, and constant reaction, the person who can stay quiet becomes the most powerful voice in the room. The person who can stay calm becomes the most trusted leader. But silence does not mean doing nothing. It means choosing your moment. It means listening carefully, reading the situation, understanding the dynamics, and waiting until your words or actions will have the greatest impact. That is real control. That is strategic patience. That is wisdom in action. So the next time someone tries to pull you into drama, remember, your silence is not weakness. It is your shield. Your calm is not emptiness. It is your fortress. And the one who stays calm when others lose control always wins in the end. Say this affirmation with me: my silence is my shield. Type it in the comments and carry it with you. Because once you understand the power of silence and calm, no one can easily provoke you again. Lesson 6. See people's true nature, not their masks. Most people show you a mask, not their real face. They speak sweet words. Smile when they need something. Act loyal as long as it benefits them. But behind every smile, there is often an intention. Behind every promise, there is often a hidden plan. Behind every gesture, there is often a motive. If you want to be untouchable, you must stop judging people by what they say and start judging them by what they do. You must stop listening to their words and start watching their actions. Ancient wisdom explains it perfectly: everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. People are masters of appearance. They build an image, a mask, to impress, or to control, or to manipulate. But the wise person looks deeper. They pay attention to patterns, actions, and choices, not just words. They understand that talk is cheap and behavior is truth. Think about it. A friend may say, "I will always be there for you." But when you actually need them, in the middle of the night, when you are struggling, they disappear. A colleague may praise your work in front of you, but secretly try to take credit when you are not around. A partner may say, "I love you," but their actions show neglect and disrespect. A leader may say, "We care about employees," but their policies show the opposite. The truth of who they are is not in their words. It is in their behavior. The key is observation. Do not rush to trust just because someone says the right thing. Watch them over time. See how they treat others. See how they behave when things do not benefit them. Notice if their actions match their promises. Pay attention to how they act when they think no one is watching. This is how you see the real person. This is how you remove the mask. Masks are everywhere. Social media is full of them, people showing a perfect life while hiding their struggles. People posting highlight reels while their behind the scenes is a mess. Workplaces are full of them: fake smiles, fake compliments, fake respect, fake teamwork. Even in personal relationships, masks appear when people want control, attention, or advantage. When they want something from you. When they need your approval. When they fear your judgment. But if you can train yourself to see past the surface, no one can fool you. If you can read behavior, not just words, no one can deceive you. The advantage of seeing people's true nature is freedom. You will not fall for fake love. You will not be shocked by betrayal. You will not depend on illusions. You will not build hopes on sand. Instead, you will deal with reality. And reality, no matter how dark, is always safer than living in a lie. So how do you do this? Simple. 1. Listen less, watch more. 2. Study patterns, not promises. 3. Remember that consistency reveals character, and time exposes everything. Once you see the truth, you cannot be deceived. And once you stop believing in masks, people lose their power to manipulate you. Repeat this affirmation with me: I see through the mask to the truth. Type it in the comments and let it sink into your mind. Because when you start seeing people's true nature, you take back your power. And no mask in the world can hide from your vision. Lesson 7. Beware of trust and emotional dependency. Trust is a beautiful word. But in the wrong hands, it is a weapon. Most people tell you, "Just trust me." But those words are often used to lower your guard, to make you vulnerable, to make you open. When you trust blindly, you give away your power. You hand someone the keys to your emotions, your secrets, your insecurities, and sometimes even your future. Machiavelli warned us about this when he said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." People change when their interests change. People shift when the wind blows differently. What was true yesterday may not be true today. And what someone promised last year may mean nothing this year. The danger is not only in trusting others, but in becoming emotionally dependent on them. When you rely too much on someone for happiness, validation, or guidance, you give them control over your life. They can lift you up with a compliment or destroy you with silence. They can make you feel special one day and worthless the next. You become a puppet without realizing it. Your strings are in their hands. And in the game of power, dependency is weakness. Think of it like this: the one you depend on becomes your master. If you cannot walk away from someone without losing yourself, you are not in control. They are. If your happiness requires their presence, you are not free. You are addicted. If your peace requires their approval, you are not strong. You are enslaved. This is why betrayal feels so painful. It is not only about what the person did. It is about the power you unknowingly gave them. It is about realizing you handed them your heart and they dropped it. The smarter move is balance. You can connect with people deeply, but do not let your emotional stability depend on them. You can care passionately, but do not attach your identity to them. You can love fully, but always keep a part of yourself untouchable. This way, no matter who stays or who leaves, you remain whole. No matter who betrays you, you remain standing. No matter who disappoints you, you remain unbroken. Practical steps. 1. Do not overshare. Keep parts of your life private. Keep some dreams to yourself. Keep some fears inside until trust is proven. 2. Notice how people handle your trust in small things before giving them big things. See if they respect boundaries. See if they keep confidences. See if they show up consistently. 3. Build your own foundation. Your self-respect. Your self-control. Your goals. Your purpose. Your skills. So you do not rely on anyone for stability. So you are complete on your own. So relationships add to your life instead of defining it. Trust is not about blind faith. It is about measured risk. It is about giving slowly, testing constantly, and observing carefully. And never putting your entire soul in someone else's hands. Because only you can be trusted fully with your own heart. A modern philosopher said, the ability to walk away from anything that weakens you is the superpower of the 21st century. Say this affirmation with me: I give trust carefully, and I never depend on anyone fully. Type it in the comments. Let it remind you every day. Because the less you depend on others, the harder it is for anyone to break you. That is true power. Lesson 8, Master yourself to master your world. Every great empire. Every great achievement. Every great life starts with one thing: control. Not control over others. Not control over the world. Not control over circumstances. But control over the self. If you cannot master your own mind, emotions, and habits, you will always be a prisoner, even if no one is holding the chains. You will be trapped by your impulses, enslaved by your reactions, and limited by your lack of discipline. Machiavelli wrote, "The one who adapts his policy to the times prospers." What does that mean for you? It means the strongest person is not the one who shouts the loudest or looks the toughest or has the most power over others. It is the one who can adapt, control, and discipline himself, no matter what storm comes his way. It is the one who can bend without breaking. Who can flow without losing direction. Who can stay centered when everything around is chaos. Think about it. The world will always test you. People will insult you. Life will throw setbacks at you. Circumstances will change without warning. If you are weak inside, you will collapse under pressure. You will crumble when things get hard. You will break when the weight gets heavy. But if you train your mind to stay calm, if you train your body to handle discomfort, and if you discipline yourself when others lose control, you win. You do not just survive. You dominate. You do not just endure. You thrive. Mastering yourself means 3 key things. 1. Control your emotions. Do not let anger, jealousy, fear, or desire drive your choices. When you let emotions lead, you lose clarity. You lose perspective. You lose power. Imagine someone insults you at work, in a meeting, in front of people. If you explode in anger, you look weak, unprofessional, and easy to provoke. If you stay calm, you keep the upper hand. You look confident, in control, and strong. Silence becomes power. Composure becomes authority. 2. Discipline your habits. Power does not come overnight. It does not come from motivation. It comes from small, daily acts of discipline. Waking up early, even when you do not want to. Finishing what you start, even when it gets hard. Training your body, even when you are tired. Sharpening your mind, even when you would rather scroll your phone. These small choices are the bricks that build your fortress. They compound over time into strength you cannot imagine. Weak people let their impulses rule them. They do what feels good instead of what is necessary. Strong people rule their impulses. They do what is necessary, even when it does not feel good. 3. Strengthen your independence. Do not let your happiness depend on approval, attention, or rewards from others. The moment you rely on the outside world for peace, you become fragile. Like a house built on sand, the first storm will wash you away. Build your value from within. Cultivate your own sense of worth. Develop your own source of joy. When you know who you are, nobody can shake you. When you are solid inside, nothing outside can move you. Here is the raw truth: if you cannot control yourself, someone else will. A boss. A lover. A friend. A family member. Even strangers on the internet. They will sense your weakness and use it. They will smell your insecurity and exploit it. They will see your neediness and manipulate it. But when you have self-mastery, you flip the game. You become the one who is sought after instead of seeking. You become the one who is respected instead of desperate. People respect you because they cannot bend you. They admire you because you do not break. They trust you because you are consistent. Imagine yourself as the ruler of an inner kingdom. Your thoughts are your citizens. Your emotions are your soldiers. Your habits are your laws. Your discipline is your army. If your kingdom is in chaos, if your thoughts are rebellious, your emotions are out of control, and your habits are weak, how can you ever control anything outside? How can you build anything lasting? How can you lead anyone else? But if your kingdom is strong, ordered, and disciplined, then nothing and nobody can shake your throne. You become a force of nature. You become undeniable. You become untouchable. You have seen it. You have learned it. Power does not come from noise, drama, or approval. True power comes from the mind, the heart, and the choices you make when nobody is watching. It comes from the quiet moments of discipline, the private victories, the internal battles won when no one is clapping. Remember this. No one can touch you if you do not let them. No words can break you if you control your reactions. No betrayal can shake you if you rely on yourself first. No rejection can define you if you know your own worth. Every step you take towards self-mastery, emotional control, and strategic thinking builds a fortress no one can penetrate. Every small choice to stay calm instead of reacting, every moment you pause instead of exploding, every time you protect your peace instead of handing it away, these are the bricks of your strength. Life will always throw tests at you. People will always try to manipulate you, disappoint you, or provoke you. That is inevitable. It is the nature of the world. It is the nature of human interaction. But here is the difference. The untouchable person sees the world clearly, feels without being controlled, and acts without fear. They do not react, they respond. They do not panic, they plan. They do not break, they bend and bounce back. They do not chase power. They become it. Machiavelli said it best: men shrink less from offending one who makes them fear than one who makes them hope. People respect strength, control, and clarity. They follow those who are certain. They trust those who are steady. They admire those who are unshakable. When you stop giving them leverage over your mind, when you stop handing over your peace for their opinion, when you stop trading your stability for their approval, you rise above them all. You transcend the drama. You escape the games. You become free. So start today. Right now. In this moment. Commit to yourself. Protect your emotions like the treasures they are. Strengthen your mind like the muscle it is. Study people like the student of human nature you must become. Anticipate motives like the strategist you are becoming. Act with intention like the leader you were born to be. Build your inner fortress like your life depends on it. Because in truth, it does. Everything you want, everything you dream of, everything you hope to become depends on this one thing, your ability to master yourself. Drop your favorite affirmation in the comments right now. Say it out loud. Let it echo in your mind until it becomes part of who you are. I am stronger than any emotion. I see the truth. I rule my world. I guard my power. I am untouchable. Like, share, and subscribe if this video gave you clarity, power, or courage. If it sparked something inside you. If it woke up a part of you that has been sleeping. Carry these lessons forward. Share them with someone who needs them. And remember, once you master yourself, nothing outside can ever affect you again. Walk out of this video different. Walk out untouchable. Silent. Calm. Powerful. Focused. Free. And remember, your legacy, your impact, your entire life starts with control over yourself. Nothing and nobody will ever shake that again.